Before we begin, a massive shout out to our amazing chin partners. And this time, it's the Great Purity Sin. You guys are the real heroes here. And now, let's jump into this.
Back in the day when people used to have misfortune befall them, they'd say it was a curse from the gods, that it was something that was well-deserved. I don't know, I think in Blade's case, this might be a little Old Testament. Speaking of Old Testament, let's talk about scourging some other. Let's talk about scourging and purging with a little bit of Nova Online, the dog-kicking diaper lover. Now, there are a lot of lolcows out there, a lot of freaks, the degenerates. You can choose the term that you want to assign to them, the category that you want to put people into when you're talking about that inhabit the internet. But this is known as a TikTok food blogger who's covered regularly by people like Saturated Content, Kiwi Tapes, Smokey MC, and I've enjoyed videos watching where they talk about him. And as I've watched more and more content related to him, I've seen as it's gotten worse and worse. Because generally what you'll find is the funny, weird, eccentric that's got a few quirks and things to pick at and laugh at tend to have much darker secrets hidden in their closets. And maybe you're guessing by looking at this picture what some of those secrets might be. But it was one particular clip that I happened to watch in a video that was released just, I think it was yesterday by Kiwi Tapes, I think it was, that just had me do a double take. It's not that this guy lives in filth, and he does live in filth. He's a hoarder, doesn't clean his house, uses a green screen to hide rotting garbage that's piled up to the ceiling. I want you to understand, he lives in a location that is so full of garbage, you can see flies spawning in real time. Maggots and cockroaches crawl about him. He's basically kind of like Blade's leg hole. You can imagine the smell. And he has some quirks about him, some lispy weird things, some strange video habits, some weird eating habits. But as time went on, more and more information began to come out about what he's like. And what do you know? Lo and behold, he's a sick on Discord. Lots of weird allegations about him interacting with underage people. And I am not the one to cover this for you. If you want to see him covered thoroughly and well, Saturated Content, Kiwi Tapes, Smokey MC will take you through the wonderful world of Nova Online. But I wanted to set up just a little bit. This clip in particular that just caught my attention, that seemed to fit so thematically well in with on the internet that we're really talking about today. We saw Blade, an alcoholic no willpower, who uses his mother and makes the end of her life miserable. Let's talk about Nova and what he does. Which, as you probably can guess from the title, I'm not really hiding or using subterfuge to surprise you when we get to it. But let's set the stage a little bit. Let's talk about his Tinky Winkies.
Twinkle with the how I wonder where you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle with the how I wonder what you are.
You did so great.
Aww.
I love your singing voice.
Aww, I love your singing voice. Oh, you should take winkles. Aww. Yeah, that's the voice I want to hear. You know, when I walk by, if I had a kid, when I walk by my kid's room, you know, my 9-year-old son's room, and he's on Discord, what I want to hear coming out of the screen is this diaper wearing going, oh, I just take it Winkies. Oh, let's play the touch game with the Take It Winkies. Oh, welcome to my Discord. Oh, Nova Online covered in flies. Oh, twinkle, twinkle, little child. But, you know, gas them all. But what was the clip? You know, it's not just him singing with a pacifier in his mouth because he's an adult baby diaper lover, because of course he is. Not just that he's a child predation freak, because of course he is. Not just because he's some weird Discord degenerate, because of course he is. Now, there's one thing in particular that really caught my attention. Let's take a look at that clip.
So,
But all of this is pretty small in comparison to the next clip I'm about to show you, because Nova's neighbor alleged that a fellow neighbor had told him a story about Gabe, and this story is pretty disturbing. The old lady would allege that Nova was responsible for the death of a hound, kicking it during a rage.
my neighbor that's been here for 25 years, I mow her lawn, I update her lawn, and I try and help her out with everything she can because she's an elderly woman. She told me when they first moved in, they actually had 2 dogs a while ago. And I guess their one dog, according to my neighbor, said that he threw a tantrum and kicked it so hard he killed it. So I don't know how true this is because I wasn't moved in here yet, but my elderly neighbor that's been here for a long time, and she's super religious, super nice. She said that Nova threw a tantrum and kicked the dog so hard it killed it.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
And that she said out of all the dog owners that shouldn't have dogs, he is one especially because she believed that he shouldn't own a dog after that incident.
Yeah, he killed a dog. He kicked a dog to death. So, Nova Online, who, when you first... This is, again, as we kind of ease into the things that we're going to be talking about, you encounter these personalities online, and they have these quirks and little idiosyncrasies to them that make you think they're just a goof. But as you watch and time progresses, things start to come out that make them not so goofy. And so here we go. He lives in filth surrounded by flies and maggots. He is a child predator. He's a adult baby diaper lover that Tinky Winky sings himself with a pacifier in mouth. And he kicks dogs to death. And that's not a story that's being given by a troll. That's a neighbor. People in the neighborhood talk about him kicking animals to death. Killing pets. He's known in the neighborhood as a pet killer. What the bro? I don't know. You know, we wasn't going to be like a subject of this stream, but it just kind of caught me out of nowhere. It just kind of came out of left field. I knew he was a degenerate. I knew he lived in filth, surrounded by flies. I don't know what kind of... We've got a lot of shit to work with. All right, he's a guy that sucks on pacifiers and beats off while wearing diapers. And if that wasn't enough, we got to put a cherry on top. We got to really finish out this dessert by having him kill pets. By just really upping level. And he'll sing a song online. And to anybody that'll listen on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter, whatever the social media profile is, it doesn't matter. About how he's so abused, how his trolls are so terrible. Smokey this and Kiwi that and Saturated this. Oh, they're coming for me. They won't stop talking about me. And yet he engages in the behavior he accuses them all of. Calls them doxers. He's the one out there doing doxing discords. Calls them evil and abusive. He's the one that people talk about killing pets. Talks about how they're degenerates. He's the one that's creeping on kids on Discord. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. Tons and tons and tons of times. And it's remarkable to me that so many of these people always try to put themselves out there as in a tough spot, or they're being picked on, or it's not fair, and they're just people. So I just wanted to include it. Maybe you're not familiar with who this is. I would highly suggest going and watching some videos on him. Throw some views at the boys, at Kiwi Tapes, and Saturated Content, and Smokey MC, and watch them talk about what a disgusting. But that dog killing, I could not talk about. It's just too, I don't like that. I've got very few lines or limits really when it comes to things online. But hurting kids and killing pets, those are my lines. Hard and fast. I don't think that's really unacceptable. It's not very unreasonable. I don't think that many people watching are going to be like, well, no, that's not where I draw the line. So I just want to put his picture out there. I want to put his name out there. I want to give you a chance to go brush up on the lore. Because he shouldn't get away with it. Because he still has pets. And if he killed one pet, he'll kill another. That's pure psychopath behavior. That's serial killer shit. When you're so enraged that you will kill something that small and hurt something that small, you'll do it to more than one thing. And it starts with animals and it works its way up. One day it's kicking a dog to death, the next it's beating a fucking baby. I don't trust this. He wants to live that lifestyle. This is some weird sexual and God knows what he'd do to a kid if he actually got his hand on one. Nova Online. Kidding me.
The Chin universe is rapidly expanding, and now, we have memberships and super chats. Consider joining us to have access to 4 brand new emotes, and member-exclusive shorts showing how they get made. Thank you so much for watching and helping the channel grow this fast, and I'll see you on the next video.